Welcome to Utah Stories Top 5, where we scour all the top news headlines, we sift through all the clutter and spin, and we bring you the very best top 5 headlines of the day in Utah. I'm your host for today, Richard Marcosian. Thanks for joining me. So on today's top 5, migrants overrun the Texas-Mexico border. Why U.S. adults are less happy. Are mushrooms and MDMA legal now in Utah? Kevin Bacon is coming to Utah. And did the Park City School District fail? Those are our top 5 headlines. But before we get to that, did you know that for just $3 a month, you can support our intrepid local journalism here at Utah Stories? We love to do investigative journalism. We love to ask tough questions. We love to ask the questions no other media is asking here in Utah. And there are a lot of questions they're not asking. For example, why aren't we building affordable housing? Seems like a good question, but we can only get to the answer and get to the bottom of the answers through your support of our journalism. So consider checking out a subscription to Utah Stories or a membership to Utah Stories or a Supreme membership to Utah Stories by visiting utahstories.com. If you come to our event and you become a premium member of Utah Stories, I will buy you a beer and we will toast the need to have better accountability of our public officials and better journalism in Utah. Okay, and this magazine, by the way, is your connection to the real and tangible world. If you feel like you're lost in space in this virtual existence and you're in this miasma of, wow, where does my reality live? Is it online? Is it in the Facebooks? Where is it? You'll find out if you subscribe to this magazine. Reality should exist in the tangible real world. Okay, let's dive into our first headline and story. Migrants overrun the Texas-Mexico border. This was an alarming scene captured on Thursday at the El Paso border in Texas, where a riot of illegal immigrants attempted to enter the United States from Mexico. You can see the National Guard was fighting them off, but according to reports, the Texas National Guard was overwhelmed by the sheer number of migrants. Despite a decrease in crossings compared to December, Texas is still witnessing high rates of migration. Folks, this is us losing our country. If you do not have a border, you do not have a country. It's just as simple as that. Whether you're on the left or the right, you cannot dispute that. If you don't have a border, you really don't have a country. Mexico is a wonderful place. Migrants are wonderful people. I don't dispute that one bit. I love migrants, all migrants, and I don't blame them for coming. I don't blame them for wanting to come. But we absolutely need to secure our border, and we need to have legal immigration in this country. That's my opinion. I'd like to hear your opinion. This is about capturing the public discourse and getting everyone's opinions. So please feel free to chime in on this issue. Let us know what you think. Should Salt Lake City be a sanctuary city? We saw what's happening in Denver. That's a sanctuary city. What should we do about this border crisis? I think it's one of the biggest issues that will affect the 2024 election this November. Okay, next headline. Why are U.S. adults less happy? So, number one position of the happiest country in the world is Finland. Why are they so happy? But United States dropped out of the top 20 for the happiest people in the world for the first time since they started measuring. So we're not even in the top 20 countries. The decline in U.S. happiness is attributed to younger adults who report significantly lower levels of happiness compared to older generations. The report is based on data from 2021 to 2023. That was a pretty unhappy period of time, I have to say, in a lot of people's lives. I think that has something to do with it. But the measures of well-being using life evaluations, positive and negative emotions, factors influencing happiness include GDP per capita, social support, freedom of choice. Despite challenges, post-COVID benevolence has increased, especially among millennials and Gen Z. The top-ranked countries have relatively small populations, and happiness is deemed a common goal worldwide. I believe strongly that happiness comes from doing something you love every day. You have to get in contact with doing something you absolutely love to do every single day. That's what we promote on this show and this program. Financial freedom also is a great way to be able to do what you love every day. So we promote that as well on this podcast. And so find ways to be happy, find ways to gain long-lasting joy rather than temporary, fleeting happiness, which comes to my next headline. Are mushrooms and MDA legal in Utah? So doctors at Utah's major medical health systems will be permitted to treat patients with psilocybin and MDMA despite their illegal status due to promising research showing their efficacy in treating mental health issues. Governor Spencer Cox allowed the legislation to go into effect on May 1st, is allowing, I think we meant to say here, citing overwhelming legislative support, although he expressed disappointment that the input from the task force advising the legislature was disregarded. The bill, SB 266, aims to address Utah's mental health crisis by providing doctors with authority to administer these substances in a therapeutic setting. The pilot program will run for 3 years with doctors of the University of Utah Health Intermountain participating. I think this is awesome. If you look at the research concerning especially psilocybin mushrooms, they do a better job treating PTSD than anything else by far. It's like our dog who has epilepsy and anybody suffering epilepsy, CBD works better than anything else on the market, and it has very little to no side effects. Psilocybin mushrooms are the same thing for PTSD and major depressive disorders. Johns Hopkins University has done some amazing studies and work on that. I suggest you go check it out. Learn it for yourself. Mushrooms can be dangerous, especially if you're taking other medications, so don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Kevin Bacon is coming to Utah. Did you ever play the game Eight Separations from Kevin Bacon? I forgot what it's called. Is that what it's called, Liquor?
I don't know. I haven't heard of it.
It's like you can take any actor in all of Hollywood or that's been in any movie, and you can find 8 degrees to get them back to Kevin Bacon. It's a really fun game to play. He's been in so many movies. Kevin Bacon, if you didn't know, was in the 80s iconic film Footloose, which was filmed at Payson High School. They are going to be celebrating the anniversary of that. Bacon confirmed his attendance via a remote call from Atlanta during an assembly at the school, which was broadcasted live on NBC's Today Show. The campaign, known as #BaconToPayson, gained national attention, drawing the interest of Utah Governor Spencer Cox, who expressed his admiration for the students' efforts and announced his decision to attend a prom scheduled for April 20th, just 1 month away. The school community erupted in tears and cheers of joy at the news. The filming of Footloose holds sentimental value for Bacon, making his return to Payson High School even more special. Very cool. Okay, did the Park City School District fail? The Park City School District has entered into a federal agreement following repeated failures to adequately address student reports of racial, anti-Semitic, and sexual harassment. An investigation by the Department of Education Office for Civil Rights uncovered over 180 harassment reports spanning 2021 through 2022 and 2022 and 2023 school years, focusing on the 3 schools within the district. The district's responses to harassment, particularly concerning Black, Asian, Jewish, and sex-based harassment, did not meet federal civil rights obligations. Title IX coordinators' failure to inform students of their rights and maintain updated records was also highlighted. Under the agreement, the district must report how it handles harassment complaints and implement measures to prevent future incidences. So they have to get their act in order because they could lose their federal charter, I would assume. Our question of the day today: why are testosterone levels dropping so drastically in men? And I found this a very interesting question. So we had our big event. If you didn't come, you really missed out. Our big Utah Stories night at Shades Brewing. Happened last Friday, a week ago. And a woman at the event, she won the prize for the best story idea. She came up with this. We need to examine this issue. Why are testosterone levels plummeting? She said, quote, I manage a naturopathic medical office and we test thousands of patients. 99% of them have low testosterone, even as young as 18 and 19 years old. Testosterone impacts energy, mood, bone density, muscle mass, and even red blood cells. It's a problem with men and women. Testosterone also exists in women, not to mention it affects sexual desires and can cause ED, erectile dysfunction. As noted, this non-age-related drop in testosterone levels hasn't occurred in a vacuum, according to Cleveland Health Clinic. We're seeing more people with their overall health status in decline, notes Palatone, that may be accelerating to the loss of testosterone compared to previous generations. You know what I notice? When was the last time you saw a movie like Die Hard, First Blood, Rambo, Rocky, Terminator? Like, there were these testosterone-driven films that were just so ubiquitous. Now we have superhero films, which are ubiquitous. How come we don't have the testosterone films anymore? Leave me a comment below, because that's what I don't get. Like, Die Hard, really, that was so cool. And then First Blood, Rambo. I mean, the whole thing, it's going to elevate your testosterone levels just watching it. The training scene in Rocky 2, where he's training to go and fight Ivan Drago, where he's in the woods, it's like hauling giant logs. I mean, that just made me want to be strong and tough like him. Where are we? Those movies don't exist anymore. It's like that, just like comedy. The genre is just, for some reason, gone out of favor, and I don't know why. I think that's the problem. So our adventure of the day, North America's most popular interactive dinosaur experience, is back, bigger and better than ever. Check out Jurassic Quest. Herd of photorealistic dinosaurs is ready to delight families. This is going to be at Mountain America Expo Center in the Salt Lake area for 1 weekend only, March 29th through the 31st. Check it out, Jurassic Quest. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you like this content, share it with some friends. Hit the thumbs up icon, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our free digital newsletter by visiting utahstories.com, or subscribe to the print magazine for $3 a month and support our journalism. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.